Are you guys ready for hockey playoffs? I know I sure am. The high school hockey report starts right now.
And welcome back to another edition of the State Champs High School Hockey Report. It is our playoff edition. I'm Jonathan Kidd along with Sean Baligian. Sean, it's finally here.
Best time of the year. Let's get her going. I mean, it's you know, we've been talking about it for weeks now, so let's drop the puck and go.
And the State Champs High School Hockey Report is presented by the Michigan High School Hockey Coaches Association, and it's also brought to you by the MHSAA and National Coney Island. This week on the show, we're going to preview every single regional that's going on this week. And at the end of the show, we're going to predict who's going to make the Final Four and who's going to win the Hockey State Championship. So, Sean, let's get right into it. We're going to start in Division 1, Region 1. This is going to be hosted by Rockford. They start on Monday. You got teams like the Bay Reps and Rockford.
Yeah, you know, one of the things that, you know, we've been talking about all year is a few of the guys on the west side talked about the senior-laden team that is Rockford. They're coming off, I believe they had a 3-3 tie with Byron Center this past weekend to you know, head into the playoffs like that. I like Rockford's chances in that region. I really do.
East Kentwood is hosting the regional. You got teams like Byron Center and Howland West Ottawa.
Yeah, you know, that's going to be intriguing. I think Byron Center has maybe made the case for being the best on the west side. East Grand Rapids might have something to say about that, more on them later. But Howland West Ottawa is a team that has shown it can jump up a little bit. Some people have told me privately that that's a team to look out for. So with that being said, I'm still going to take Byron Center. I think that they've been the class, but maybe a team to keep an eye on is the Panthers from Howland West Ottawa.
Staying in Division 1, in Region 3 is hosted by HOLT, and it's going to be played at the Summit out in the Mid-Michigan area. They will start on Tuesday. You got teams like Capital City Capitals, and you got the combined squad of Lowell Caledonia. Well,
it's a great opportunity. You know, we were talking up, you know, what Cap City has been doing. It's a great opportunity for them to keep her going, so to speak. So we'll see how that plays itself out. But that one, certainly, you got some teams in there that feel like that might be up for grabs.
Region 4, they will start on Monday. It's hosted by Saginaw Heritage and Bay City Western. You got Saginaw Heritage, that one of the teams that could be one of the favorites to make it to the Final Four in Division 1. And you also got Midland and Bay City Western.
Well, you got to like Heritage's shot in that one. You know, they've had such a tremendous season. You know, they've gone out and played so well against some of the big boys, the quote-unquote big boys as well. They're a deep team. They can skate with anybody. They've got high-end guys. So you got to like the Hawks' chances there.
In Region 5, it's hosted by Orchard Lake St. Mary's. They will begin on Tuesday. You got a potential regional semifinal between Brighton and Orchard Lake St. Mary's.
Yeah, that'd be something new, huh? I hope you sense my sarcasm there. It just seems like we've been talking about that ever since we've been doing this. We've been talking about that one for years. Brighton is doing it again. I mean, they got right at the end of the season. You know, I'm not sure they're as deep as they have been in the past, but a tremendous job out there by Paul and Kurt to get Brighton ready for playoff time again.
And don't forget about Clarkson as well in that region.
Yeah, they've been tremendous. You know, gave RU all they could handle. You know, John, I had no problem putting them in the rankings based on the finish to the season that they had. But boy, you want to make a name for yourself? Knock off one of those big boys.
Next to Region 6, it's hosted by Utica Eisenhower. They will begin on Monday. You got some dandy of some regional openers. You got Utica Eisenhower against Rochester United and MACOMB Dakota against Lansing Unified.
And those are good teams. I mean, they really are. I think Bob Hall, you know, enough said. I think Bob's done such a good job with Ike for such a long time. I think everybody knows now about Rochester and the winning streak that they've had. We've had Dakota ranked as far as I'm concerned, Lance Cruz North is a team that's been this close many times. We've seen them up close and personal. So that'll be a very, very intriguing bracket right there.
All right, we go to Region 7, and it's hosted by St. Clair Shores Unified. On Monday, you got Detroit Catholic Central taking on Troy, and then other than Detroit Catholic Central, you got Birmingham Unified in that region.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think the Unified team from St. Clair Shores has done such a great job taking a step up, but you find yourself in the bracket with the number one team in the state, and not only that, the number one team in the state with a chip on your shoulder. Boy, good luck against that, because CC is rolling everybody right now.
And lastly, in Division 1, in Region 8, they will begin on Monday as well. It's hosted by Dearborn Unified. You got a potential on Wednesday, Farmington United against Salem.
Yeah, I think that would be tremendous. They've been such a good story this year. We talked about it there. They're another team. They've been this close to popping our top 25, but such a great story how that came together. Two really good forwards as well. Ryan Ossenmacher, we've had him on the show. I still say Ryan's doing a tremendous job out there in Salem, trying to build that up and get that going. And they had a nice win to finish off the season against Saline. And Gordy Brown and Northville. That's intriguing all the way around. So I'm going to keep an eye on that one.
Hey guys, Jenna Skelski here. John is going to talk with the head coach from Trenton High School, Chad Clements, in our Coach's Corner. We'll be right back.
National Coney Island is serving up what you love, fast, fresh, and friendly, like our award-winning Coney, honey, or handcrafted burger. So you can get what you want, when you want it. National Coney Island, your craving is calling.
There's an old saying, you can never have too many officials. The age of the average official is 52 and getting older all the time. We're constantly recruiting new people, younger people to join us. After you register with the MHSAA, look on the website to find an officials association near you. They'll put you in a position to succeed as an official. We all learned a lot from high school sports, and officiating is a great way to give back to the game. There's help wanted, just whistle.
Touchdown, Trenton.
Welcome back to our playoff edition of the State Champs High School Hockey Report. Currently repping the Warriors from Birmingham, Brother Rice.
And welcome back to the State Champs High School Hockey Report. I'm Jonathan Kidd. I'm joined by Chad Clements, the head coach of Trenton High School, and this is our Coach's Corner segment. So, Chad, welcome back to the High School Hockey Report.
Oh, great to be back, and again, just thank you to you and Sean for doing everything you do for high school hockey.
All right, it's the playoffs now. So, what's your message to your boys coming up now?
Just how serious it is. It's not a best of 3. It's not a best of 5, best of 7. It's a one-game elimination. Some of these kids, where they've played travel hockey, AAA hockey, they don't understand that. The mindset is you have to be all business and on top of your game each and every night. So it's an exciting time for all the teams out there. It's great that every single team makes the playoffs, so everyone has a shot. Your record's clear. Everyone is 0-0 heading into this week.
And just talk about your region. Obviously, you guys are in it. You got Woodhaven, Ann Arbor Pioneer, Ann Arbor Huron, Ann Arbor Skyline, and Saline. That's a tough regional.
Oh, yeah. Again, it's what makes it exciting. You play some top teams right from the get-go. There's, like I said, all 6 teams are very talented, and we're just worried about Ann Arbor Pioneer right now.
Just talk about your guys' season. You guys won the MIHL South Division title. Just how proud of you guys of accomplishing that feat.
Yeah, that was something special. We have some goals that we set as a team. One of them is to win the Downriver League. One of them is to win the MIHL South. This is the second year in a row that we've done this. UAD, De La Salle, we were all neck and neck at the end there. I have tremendous respect for both of those teams and the others, Grosse Pointe South and Grosse Pointe North in the MIHL South. And it came down to the end, and we were fortunate enough to get a victory and cement the championship.
You have, been a part of this Trenton program for all your life. How much has Mike Turner has influenced you?
Oh, yeah. Both as a player and as a coach and as a person, I guess. I played 3 years for him in his second stint when he returned to Trenton High School. He led us to 3 state title appearances. I was fortunate enough as a player to win 1. And just his guidance, just his hockey knowledge really shaped the player that I was. I was fortunate enough to join the coaching staff after graduating college and returning to the Trenton Public School District as a teacher. Again, I just learned a tremendous amount of information as a coach, whether it was the X's and O's of the game, whether it was practices, whether it was preparing for games. He just had a plethora of knowledge that I was fortunate enough to learn from. And then just as a person, he did things the right way. He always preached doing things the right way, so he shaped me just as an individual as well.
We talked last week on the podcast about the program, the Trenton program. You know, you guys honored the 1979 and the 2009 state championship team. What do you tell the kids how special it is to be a part of the Trenton hockey program?
Well, yeah, we've been very fortunate with the success that we've had over the last 50-some years. It's good to show the kids that people have worked very, very hard and have bought into the program, the team game, and the aspects that we run in the Trenton High School hockey program that have brought them success. They've laid the foundation, and you can see the lifelong friendships that have been established. Just watching the guys come back, the fun they had with each other, with their former coaches, and even wanting to come talk to the players and just see how things maybe have changed in high school hockey.
You know, you've been the head coach now for 5 years. You know, you've been part of the Trenton program for over 30 years. How special is it for you to be able to continue this? Oh, it is.
It's quite an honor. I have some big footsteps to fill coming after Coach Turner, but we talk once every couple weeks. He still guides me. It's just, I'm very fortunate that I can give back not only to the hockey team that meant so much to me, but the school district that I started in kindergarten and went all the way through 12th grade, but the community that I was born and raised in. It's just a very special place to live, to grow up, to go to school, and to play for. Again, I'm just very fortunate that I was able to get a job here and that I was able to give back not only to the kids in the classroom, but now on the ice to the kids in the hockey program.
And just lastly, how great is this for high school hockey right now with the playoffs starting?
Oh, it's just an exciting time. You know, like I said, everyone has a shot. It doesn't matter how your regular season went, whether it was good, whether it was bad, whether you're in the middle of the pack. Anything can happen now. So everyone's excited. Monday and Tuesday should be very exciting days. Half the teams are going to get a W and build their confidence towards trying to win a state championship, and half the teams, unfortunately, have to go home. So, again, people are on edge. People are nervous. The anxiety is high, but the energy levels are high. It's one of the most exciting times for high school coaches and high school players all around the state. So I just wish everyone the best of luck, enjoy themselves, and stay healthy.
Chad, as the regular season ends here and now the playoffs start, what do you want to say to your boys and your coaching staff?
I just want to thank my coaching staff, Greg, Donnie, Keith, and Cam. Just tremendous job thus far this season. The time and the effort they put in is just very, very helpful to me and to help the program run smooth. Also, just to all the players, thanks for all your hard work and dedication. We've had some great moments together as a team thus far, and I just want to tell the boys thanks for playing hard each and every game, and like I said, let's make a run going into the playoffs.
And don't forget Sean Parker too.
Sean Parker, what a great guy. Does the PA, him and Mark Revaz, and then has produced a website, thshockey.com, where it celebrates, over 50 years of high school hockey and how special the Trenton program is. So thanks to those guys as well.
All right, so that was it for our Coach's Corner segment. I was joined by Chad Clements, the head coach at Trenton. Chad, thanks for coming on, and best of luck to you guys in the playoffs.
Thanks so much.
We're going to continue now with our playoff preview. In Division II, Region 9, they will start on Tuesday. You got teams like Marquette, Nagani, Escanaba, and Kingsford. Yeah,
it's that's interesting to say the very least. I mean, look, Marquette has been the class up there. Make no mistake about it. Can there, does the potential exist for an upset? Sure, but I like the Redmond's chances coming out of there.
In Region 10, it's hosted by MANISTEE. That will begin on Monday. Traverse City Central, Petoskey, Muskegon, Mona Shores, and MANISTee.
Well, and I think what is fascinating to me is you've got really a legend up there in Coach Givens. I think everybody knows what he's been able to do at Traverse City Central during his illustrious career. Does he have a run in him? I think that's the question that I know I'm asking myself, and a few people that I talk to are certainly asking that question. So we'll see. I think Petoskey might have something to say about that coming right out of the gate, but that'll be fun.
All right, and Region 11 is hosted by Grand Rapids West Catholic, and they begin on Monday as well. You got Grand Rapids Christian and, Forest Hills Northern Eastern last couple of years have made it to the Final Four. Well,
Christian has been interesting this year because I've seen them be up and down. They're another team that every time I'm going, okay, they're going to go in, then they have the down game, and then when you think of their down, they have the up game. So that's kind of been their story this year, but that's a good team. NE, look, I think they have the been there, done that mentality, and I think that's going to bode well for them however long their playoff ends. They're maybe not as strong as the two teams in the past couple of years in particular, but I think that been there, done that aspect is going to serve them well.
In Region 12 is hosted by Davison. You got the defending state champs Heartland in there. You got Davison, that's been a good story this year, along with the combined squad of Fenton Linden. You could see a potential Heartland-Davison regional final next Saturday.
Well, it would be a lot of fun because, as we've been talking about, it's pretty hard to deny what Gage Thrall has done. I mean, just incredible numbers, eye-popping numbers. And, listen, Heartland is the defending champion. I think they got bruised at the end of the year, only bruised. Bruises heal. So I think that Coach Gadwin, his staff, they're going to have that team ready. Too much respect for what Heartland's been able to do for the last 5, 6, 7 years to just count them out.
In Region 13, it's hosted by Birmingham Brother Rice. They begin on Tuesday. You got the host school, Birmingham Brother Rice, one of the favorites, could make it to the Final Four next week. You also got Lakeland, you got Wall Lake Northern, you got Lake Orion.
Yeah, listen, that's Brother Rice's region. Make no mistake about it. But you want to make some noise. You want to make a name for themselves. Be a giant killer, and that's the way I'd be selling it right now. I mean, look, Rice is one of the best teams in the state, and newsflash, I think a lot of people are just writing their path straight to the Final Four. So you want to make a name for yourself. You want to create a wow moment, put together 51 minutes and try to, slay that giant, so to speak. But Rice is outstanding. We saw it from the first game of the year when they went into Stevenson and knocked off Stevenson. They've had some up and downs. Some up and downs, I might add, that probably have something to do with playing in the MIHL, which I think you have to say is the toughest conference out there. Tip of the cap to KLAA. But, John, they're rolling at the right time.
In Region 14 is hosted by Romeo. They begin on Tuesday. Port Huron Northern, they play in that tough MIHL league, but somehow, some way, they get out of there and make it to the quarters.
Yeah, they have a real legitimate shot. I like Stony Creek. I think Stony Creek is another one of those teams that has flown under the radar. I think they've got some players on that team that maybe have been overlooked as well, and talking to some various coaches out there. So those are the brackets that are the most intriguing, because you could make a case, certainly as you did for Port Huron Northern, you could make a case for Stony Creek. Those are the ones that are most intriguing to me.
In Region 15 is hosted by Novi. They begin on Tuesday. One of the interesting regionals out there. You got Canton has had a good year. You have Howell, Plymouth. They've had a slow run here the last few weeks, but they can probably get it back up. And then you got Novi and Livonia Stevenson.
I love Canton Howell the first game, and let me tell you why. Canton and Howell are two teams that have gone like this year, and they have coaching staffs that I think have done it the right way and are building it up. Anytime you can take a team from one level to that 14, 15 win level, I think it's outstanding. So that's intriguing to see two up and comers on there. And hey, listen, Plymouth, they have a chance to undo what happened last year. They had such a strong team, and it was unfortunate for them that they had to play Livonia Stevenson in the first game. And John, you were there. You could play that game 10 times, and they might go 5-5 against each other. So this is a new season for South Line. And look, I think you have to look at Livonia Stevenson as being a favorite overall. I mean, period. End of story. So it's not far from them, and their fans will travel, so it'll be intriguing over there.
And lastly, we got in Region 16 is hosted by Trenton. They begin on Tuesday. Another interesting regional. You got Trenton, Saline, Ann Arbor Huron, Ann Arbor Skyline, Woodhaven, and Ann Arbor Pioneer.
Yeah, we just had Chad on, and I'll tell you what, Chad has to be asking himself, what did I do wrong? Because honestly, this is not going to be easy. You have to knock off Pioneer, then you have to knock off Saline, then you might not have to knock off Woodhaven. Oh, by the way, Skyline sitting back there going, hey, what about us? So that is not an easy road, to say the least. I mean, you're talking about teams that have been ranked in our top 15 for a vast majority of the season in Saline and Woodhaven and Trenton. So it'll be a fun bracket. I know for the coaches and the players, maybe not so much fun, but as a fan, that'll be a fun one to watch.
All right, and we're going to be moving now to Division III. Region 17 is hosted by Houghton, and they begin on Tuesday. This is going to be one of those tough regionals. You got Houghton, Calumet, and Hancock. You got Plainsdale, Jeffers as well in there. Well,
a young Hancock team, they have an opportunity in the first game of the year to be a giant killer. I think that Dan and the staff, those guys, team's going to be better next year, a lot better next year, and they're going to be really good to go sooner rather than later. But let's face it, John, I think everybody and their brothers waiting for Houghton and Calumet. And, the winner of that, honestly, the winner of that game, in my mind, John, has a chance to win it all. I mean, and that's a pretty big statement when you have to play that early in the playoff, but that should be a doozy.
In Region 18 and hosted by Gaylord, they begin on Monday. Sault Ste. Marie's taking on Alpena. You got Tawas, Sheboygan, and Gaylord.
I think it's great. Obviously, Alpena is going to be the one that people are looking at, taking care of business in the north. But, Gaylord's a team that has knocked some teams off over the course of a season. But I'll tell you what, give me my choice, and I'll go with a guy like Cooper Black in a must-win situation, the way that Alpena's been able to play in front of him as well. I got to like Alpena coming out of there.
In Region 19, hosted by Big Rapids, they also begin on Monday as well. You got Midland Dow, you got the combined squad of Freeland, Saginaw Novell, Valley Lutheran, Mount Pleasant, you got Big Rapids in there too, and Flint Powers.
Yeah, Midland Dow, they'll be an intriguing watch. Flint Powers, when you have a guy in Travis Perry that's been able to do so much in the course of his career, and oh, by the way, you have one of the best players in the state, Luke Evo, I kind of like your chances.
All right, in Region 20, it's hosted by Grand Rapids, Forest Hill Central. They begin on Monday as well. A tough region here. You got Forest Hill Central, East Grand Rapids Catholic Central, and don't forget about Matawan and Lumen Christi.
Yeah, Mike Slobodnik, he's a guy that's had a heck of a lot of success. They have a chance to write a new story for their season in this. We've had Coach Zaschek on. I think Coach Zaschek has a tremendous young team. They're probably doing better than most anybody thought this year. I mean, Forest Hill Central has really had a nice season. And John, again, you have arguably the class of the West Side this year in East Grand Rapids. So, some great storylines over there on the West Side.
In Region 21 is hosted by CRANBROOK. They begin on Monday as well. Possibly on Wednesday, CRANBROOK taking on Detroit Country Day.
Awesome. And when you put 21 and 22 together, you have what I not so affectionately call the bracket of doom, because really there are a handful of teams that deserve to make a strong case to get to the Final Four, and only one of them are going to do it. But, John, I'm with you. I mean, the potential of CRANBROOK and Country Day out at Wallace on Wednesday night just puts a big smile on my face. What a great opportunity for both of those teams to make a statement that day. And I'll tell you, John, again, like we were talking with Houghton and Calumet a moment ago, either one of those teams could make the case that they could win it all in Division III. I mean, that's how strong those two teams are.
In that Region 22 is hosted by Liggett, and they begin on Tuesday. Warren De La Salle, UD Jesuit, and don't forget about Grosse Pointe South as well. They could be a sleeper to possibly win a game in that region that could shake the bracket up a little bit.
It's funny. I on the same page with you there, John, because I think, would it shock anybody if Bobby pulled that upset in Game 1? Wouldn't shock me. Not at all. And, Liggett is an intriguing win because, the next game, because let me tell you why. You've got the winner of De La Salle and GPS they're probably going to go to war, and Liggett's sitting there waiting for them. You know what I mean? So that's what makes that so intriguing.
We have 2 regions left, and Region 23 is hosted by Chelsea, and they begin on Monday as well. You got the host school, Chelsea, taking on Livonia Churchill. Ann Arbor Father Gabriel Richard taking on Allen Park. And then you got Divine Child, Dexter, Allen Park, Cabrini, Livonia Franklin. So this could be an intriguing regional.
No doubt about that. Churchill's doing it again. Now, what is that? What is it? Let me define it. They were really kind of grinding it out last year, and then they caught fire at the right time, and they were able to make a run all the way to the Division III finals. And it was a memorable game, as you might recall, John, in falling just short to Country Day. So they got hot at the right time. I had a chance to see them the other night, and Jason Reynolds and his staff, they're pulling all the levers, and they've got some players out there. You mentioned Allen Park. I've seen Allen Park a few times this year. The Jags can go out and play with anybody. Hey, they nearly knocked off Trenton. Just a 1-0 game. So I've seen Allen Park go up and down, and they've got a couple players that I like there. Six Waddell was a guy I thought he was all over the ice. I use the term active. He was active, and that's, you want to get all those guys active come tournament time. And Gabriel Richard, they got a guy in Clint Robert who has had so much success, has been able to take to a trip to the Final Four as well. So, boy, is that one. That's just like, wow. As far as I'm concerned, John, that's another one of those. You shouldn't be surprised if any one of those teams came out of there.
And lastly, we go downriver for Region 24. It's hosted by Riverview Gabriel Richard, played at the Yak Ice Arena in Wyandotte. They begin on Monday as well. Riverview Gabriel Richard could be one of the favorites to win that regional, but hey, you got Monroe St. Mary Catholic Central, you got Grosse Ile in the way. Wyandotte Roosevelt, Temperance Bedford, and Gibraltar Carlson.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Riverview Gabriel Richard, I think, they went like that. Now I'm purposely knocking on the table, I might add. They went like that last year and said, hey, we're here, and made people notice. I think early on in the season, they had a couple big wins as well, so don't forget about them. Another team, John, that's capable of taking a nice long run. Ricky's done a good job there. I know he's your boy, but hey, listen, Ricky, great job out there.
Coming up, we have an update in our Hockey Player of the Year contest, and John and Sean will give you their predictions on who's going to win the state tournament. Don't go anywhere.
National Coney Island is serving up what you love, fast, fresh, and friendly, like our award-winning Coney, honey, or handcrafted burger. So you can get what you want, when you want it. National Coney Island, your craving is calling.
I admit it, I love working with money, negotiating, and making big decisions. That's why I'm majoring in finance and economics at Lawrence Tech. What's truly amazing about the education here is the small class sizes that give me easy access to my professors who truly care about my future. They even helped me get a great internship. And I was able to fulfill my lifelong dream of playing college golf. Lawrence Tech, where Blue Devils dare.
Welcome back, and this is going to be the final jersey of the show, which is Ann Arbor Gabriel Richard.
Indeed, welcome back to the State Champs High School Hockey Report. Jenna rocking another jersey there. She will do her best to get all these jerseys on before the end of the season, Sean.
Let's hope so. No doubt about that. We appreciate what Jenna does, and certainly, you know what? She's got a passion for the game, and we appreciate what she brings to the table.
All right, and we go now to our National Coney Island High School Hockey Player of the Year race. You can vote now at statechampsnetwork.com. We are freezing our top 10, so this is it.
Yeah, it was a tough decision. It was a decision that I know, in talking to some guys yesterday over a lunch of 3 National Coney Islands with extra onions. It was a tough decision, but John, we had to keep it the same. There are guys, without mentioning names, there are guys that made a really good case to jump in, but the general consensus was, John, and I don't know if you agree or disagree, that nobody on the list really did anything that deserved to take them coming off.
I agree.
And that's kind of the way that it ended. So, John, listen, right now, is there a quote-unquote favorite? I think the answer to that would be no, but at least we're consistent about one thing. You know the criteria, so if you know our criteria, then you also know that the playoffs are going to be a chance for one of these guys to really separate themselves from the pack.
All right, and you can vote now at statechampsnetwork.com. And the deadline is going to be March 6th, the day before the semifinals, to cast your final vote. And we're going to announce our Final Four right before the semifinals. So go out there and vote. And finally, here on the State Champs High School Hockey Report is our predictions time. Sean, it's our favorite time. It's going to be prove us right or prove us wrong.
Oh, I love it because it's not like some of you throw it in my face when I see you at the tournament or anything like that. But no, it's all for fun. And you know what they say about opinions. Everybody has one. But no, John, it's this is tough, and it's a good problem to have. I mean, the MHSAA's got it going on right now in the regard that there's so many teams now that are doing so well and can make a case for making a run. It's a great place to be.
All right, and we're going to start in Division 3. Who's going to be your sleeper to potentially make it to the Final Four?
You know what? I've got Livonia Churchill. As I mentioned earlier, I think Jason's done a good job. One thing that bodes well for them is playing the KLAA schedule, and it gets them ready for these tough games at tournament time. So while I don't have them with a return engagement at USA Hockey Arena, they're going to be my quote-unquote sleeper. It shouldn't surprise anybody if the Chargers end up there again.
And my sleeper is going to be Allen Park. And who's going to be your Final Four in Division 3?
Well, I have Riverview Gabriel Richard taking on Calumet. So that should be a doozy. I have the defending champion Detroit Country Day coming out of that region of doom. And I'm taking East Grand Rapids. As I said, I think that they've kind of proven themselves to be one of the best on the west side of the state. So I'm going to take EGR.
In my Final Four, I got Riverview Gabriel Richard taking on Calumet, and I got Country Day taking on Flint Powers. And then in the state final, I got Calumet taking on Country Day. So who you got in the state final?
I've got Calumet over Country Day. I think it'll be a classic. It wouldn't surprise me if, like last year, it's a one-goal game. Dare I say, an overtime game. And I'll tell you what, Sam Avola, if he's watching out there, Sam in overtime should scare anybody. Sam in a close game should scare anybody. He's one of the best goaltenders, if not the best goaltender in the state. But, John, in my mind, I think Calumet has kind of shown themselves to be the best in the state. What they did down at the showcase, I think both Calumet and Houghton, for anybody that had questions about them, you saw them with your own two eyes. So I'm going to take the Copper Kings.
And I got Calumet as well, winning the Division 3 state title. And in Division 2, my sleeper is going to be Woodhaven. So who's going to be your sleeper?
You know what? I am going to go with the living legend, Coach Givens up at Traverse City Central. I think that is a very, very winnable side of the bracket. And, really, if you're TCC, you rely on a guy like Coach Givens. But, I think the possibility exists for them to get there. And, again, here's the thing with the sleeper. You don't think they're going to get there, but you're telling people, hey, don't be surprised if this team ends up there. So I'm going to take TCC.
And who's in your Final Four?
I have Stevenson and Marquette on one side, and I have Rice and Heartland on the other, which should be an absolute dandy.
In my Final Four, I also do have Heartland against Rice, and then Marquette against Livonia Stevenson. And in my state final prediction, I have Livonia Stevenson taking on Birmingham Brother Rice, and I have Livonia Stevenson winning the state championship.
You know what? I am going to go with an all KLAA. I am. As good as Rice is going, Ricky Gadwa and his staff, they're the defending champions. And how about Livonia Stevenson versus Heartland Part 3? Oh, that should be a dandy at USA Hockey Arena.
All right, and lastly, we're going to go to Division 1. My sleeper is going to be Rockford from the west side of the state. So, Sean, who do you got?
I am going to go with RU. I think United has done such a tremendous job this year. Props to Coach Kowalski. They've got an incredible win streak going in. To me, hey, listen, could they get there? Sure they could.
Who do you got in your Final Four?
Well, I have Catholic Central, Saginaw Heritage. I think those two, to me, John, are as almost given as possible. And then I have Byron Center and Brighton. I mean, they just keep doing it. I remember sitting here last year saying, we should never count Brighton out, and then we counted Brighton out. I'm never making that mistake again. I'm going to take Brighton to get to the Final Four.
And I do have CC against Brighton and Heritage against Byron Center. I'm intrigued how if it does happen the second time when CC plays Brighton. I think it'll be a totally different game than what we saw in December.
Yeah, CC did a really good job of kind of shutting them down, if you remember, out there at Eddie Edgar Arena. I like Catholic Central. I'm not going to back down from that. They're one of the best teams that we've seen, and I think they're uber focused. And, John, I'll keep saying this. You can talk about Corpy and Clemens up front, two guys that have been on our list and deservedly so. I think their defense core as a whole doesn't maybe get the credit that it deserves. I mean, they are so deep defensively. They can batten down the hatches back there. So, I like Catholic Central to make a return engagement into the finals at USA Hockey Arena.
Yeah, and I do have CC going up against Saginaw Heritage with CC winning the Division I state title. It's going to be a fun couple weeks here.
Can't wait. No doubt about it. Oh, by the way, before we're out of here, give this guy some love if you can on social media. Now, when are you getting married? You're going to be gone for a little bit, so you're going to see this. John's probably already going to be down in paradise with one of those fruity drinks, whatever the case may be. But when are you getting married? Let's let everybody know.
I'm leaving on Thursday to head to Miami, and then we hop on a cruise boat on Saturday, March 2nd, to head down to the Bahamas. And my wedding is on March 4th to be my soon-to-be wife, Heather, and I love her dearly to death. I know I'm going to be missing out on the hockey playoffs. I got a lot of text messages and people razzing me at the games like, well, why are you going to be missing out on this? But I wouldn't trade it for the world to be there at my wedding.
Absolutely, and you'll be back for the semifinals, so we'll see Johnny down at USA Hockey Arena. So to all our friends out there, if you're watching this, can you just say a nice little note to John and Heather? Tweet it out. Put it on Facebook, whatever the case may be. We're very happy for John and Heather. Congratulations.
Well, I think also, too, you guys are going to be jealous, probably Thursday or Friday when there's probably a couple pictures of me and on the beach.
I love the Bahamas, too. It's a great area down in the island. And but, again, congratulations to you and Heather, bud.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And so Sean will be here next week. We'll have a regional finals recap and preview the quarterfinals. And then in 2 weeks, we're going to have our mega show. That's what we're calling our mega show. We're going to have our state finals recap of the State Champs High School Hockey Report. We're going to be having interviews from the USA Hockey Arena, including highlights of all 3 games from the state finals.
I love it. That was so much fun that we did that last year, and all the coaches out there were so awesome. Not only the coaches that were playing that weekend, but John, of course, the coaches have their meeting, and a lot of them stick around for the game on Saturday, so we get a chance to talk to some of the coaches about what a fantastic season it was. And this has been a fantastic season, but the best part of the season is starting now.
And that regional final and quarterfinal preview show will be on Tuesday next week, so join us then. Well, join Sean because I'll be gone. So sorry, guys. So that's it for the State Champs High School Hockey Report. It is presented by the Michigan High School Hockey Coaches Association, and it's also brought to you by the MHSAA and National Coney Island.
I'll see you at the rink. He'll see you at the beach. I'll see you at the rink.
All right, have a good week, guys, and good luck to you guys in the regionals.